Thank you for checking out this review of the Angel Answers Oracle on deck Obsessed. This is Rhonda, and I'll be showing you all 44 cards in the deck and taking a look at the guidebook so you can get a feel for whether this deck is for you. And if it is, you'll find a link in the description box to get yourself a copy along with links to other related decks. I will also be reading a random card description from the guidebook, so stick around to the end because who knows, maybe there will be a message you'll want to hear today. Let's get started. So originally this deck was a collaboration between Doreen Virtue and angel expert Radleigh Valentine. However, a few years back, Doreen Virtue, who authored many books and card decks about angels and other new age topics over the years, renounced her previous works because of her newfound Christian beliefs. She asked publishers rather to remove her works from the market, and if they were still under a certain licensing or contract agreement, she asked them to just remove her name from them. So I have an old version of this deck because I've been collecting decks for a while. Doreen Virtue's name is still on it, but any new copies that you'll find today will only have Radleigh Valentine's name on them. So the beautiful artwork in this deck is by Marius Michael George, and this deck features angels on every card with lots of bright light and a palette of golden yellow with vibrant violets, purple, royal blues, and aquas. The cards come in this really nice sturdy box with a little bit of metallic gold. The cards are a nice weight, and you notice how I have two separate piles. I've got my guidebook in between two separate sections of the deck. I'll explain that later, but the cards are glossy or semi-glossy, it looks like, and they have this beautiful bright metallic gold on the sides. The guidebook is black and white on the inside. So this deck is truly excellent to use with other decks to complement your readings with additional clarity. They have a lot of answers that you don't typically find in Oracle decks. The cards are very simple, direct, and straight to the point, thus easy to understand. No deep interpretations are necessary. There are yes and no cards about timing to give us clues as to when things may transpire. There are action cards to advise us on next steps and a sense of direction, and more. And because these cards are meant to be used to clarify readings that you're doing with other decks, or for those simple 1 card or 2 card responses, you typically would not use this deck for elaborate card spreads, just 1 or 2 cards depending on the question. So that's what this deck was designed for, to clarify readings, to complement readings, or for simple answers when you don't need a whole layout. So I would never do a Celtic cross or 12 card reading with this deck because it would be full of contradictions. And when you get a closer look at the deck, you will understand why. So let's go ahead and have a look at each card. So first, here is the back of the cards. All the backs look like this. And I want to note that I have separated the cards into 2 separate groups. The first, there's one group has a set of cards that I use for readings or questions or clarifying questions for other readings that are just for yes or no questions. So there are 2 yeses and 2 nos in the deck, and other types of answers where you need to know about timing. I've separated these because sometimes the answer doesn't involve this, and sometimes I might just put them all together, but sometimes I separate them. And this other is for any other type of question. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with the section of cards that could be used for any type of reading. So the first card is Ask Your Angels. And I know this card might be a little confusing because if you're doing a reading, you're like, hey, I am asking the angels and you're telling me to ask. That's what I thought I was doing with the reading. So this card is a little bit funny. But ask your angels, and what this might entail, the guidebook will go deeper into it, but just as a reader, I would tell someone that the cards don't want to tell you. Sometimes cards will not give you the answer. They turn you back to yourself to find the answer within. And I do believe that this card is somewhat saying that. And maybe your angels will speak to you in your sleep, or a little whisper, or a sign. So let's go ahead and look at more of the cards. So there's Ask Your Angels. Be assertive. Big happy changes. Notice there's lots of light on every card. Look for a sign. Choose a new direction. There's something better. It's up to you. Recovery. Communicate clearly. The situation will improve. Romance. Remain positive. Get more information. Forgiveness. If you believe. No need to worry. Improving health. Helpful people. You're ready. Don't stop. Meditation. I don't know if I showed this card clearly enough. Meditation brings answers. Abundance. Ask for help from others. Compromise. Take action. Peaceful resolution. Reconsider. Listen to your intuition. And I just want to remind you that if you're loving this deck, follow the link in the description box so you can get a copy for yourself, and you'll find other angel decks and decks by Valentine there. Let go. And did I say this one was listen to your intuition? Let go. Success. Opportunity. And now we have the other cards, which are more about direct yes or no answers and timing within the next few months. Now these are the kind of cards that are rare within decks. So sometimes we're trying to interpret the what does Six of Swords mean? What's the, you have to know so much more in a tarot deck to try to determine timing, but this is very straightforward, telling you within the next few months. This is one of the yes cards. A year from now. This is the second yes card, and notice the difference. There's an exclamation point. So there's a regular yes and a mega yes. Wait. Trust. And I put this card could have gone in the other pile, but I put it here because sometimes when people are asking when, there is not an answer, and you just have to trust, because some things are not written in stone and the energy is still in flux and moving. I think this is a great card for some timing questions when the timing is just not known. Within the next few weeks, in the near future, no, with an exclamation point, so that's a big no. Unlikely. Perfect timing. So again, this one could have gone in the other pile too, but it is similar to a timing question, because if there really isn't an answer, to win, or in some cases you're not supposed to know, but if you're just being told the timing will be perfect, the timing will work out, that's a legit answer that sometimes we need to hear. Not the right time, and a softer no. So those are all of the cards, and now we're going to take a look at the guidebook, which could not be simpler. The cards are all listed in alphabetical order in the table of contents, and then there are introductory sections that talk about working with the deck, how to prepare for readings, clear your cards, the best way to use this deck, and I already discussed a lot of that, but I have my own opinions in there too, so I think you can use the deck however you want, but I think these are some great suggestions. So because the deck is so straightforward, again, you might not need to rely too heavily on this guidebook to understand the cards. However, it can be very helpful and reassuring to read some of the cards' full messages, especially for the differences between the 2 yes and the 2 no cards. Plus, I mean, I know the exclamation point makes it clear, like it's a hard yes or hard no when you got the exclamation point, but the deeper meaning section gives a little bit of reminders that can help us stay grounded when we're emotionally attached to an outcome, or if you're working with a client, they might be emotionally attached to an outcome. And this gives a little extra guidance that can help us stay on track, because sometimes people are very emotional about the questions they're asking. So that's where the guidebook comes into play, with a little bit of, grounding reminders. So people can be really attached to the outcome they want, and until they get to the other side and they find out, wow, it really turned out for the best. So the guidebook gives a lot of encouraging information and a positive outlook, no matter what card we've pulled. So I'm going to read a few card descriptions as a sample, just so you can get to know what the guidebook is like. And there might be something in the messages you need to hear that we're going to hear today. So I'm definitely going to look at both yes and no answers so you can see the differences between those meanings. And there's another card that I want to look at too. But let's start off with the yes, both yes answers. Oh no, let's start off with no, because I want to end on the yes. So they're both side by side. So the no, the gentle no says the answer to your question is no. You may gather additional information by asking another question surrounding the issue and drawing another card. The no with an exclamation point says the response to your inquiry is a firm no. You needn't worry though, as you will see why this was the perfect answer as time goes by. So I think people need to hear that when they're caught up in the moment and they're emotionally attached to what they want, the outcome they want. I like this answer, that you'll see that this was a perfect answer as time goes by. Now let's look at yes. The gentle yes says the answer to your question is yes. If you want a more detailed reply to your inquiry, you can ask additional questions and pull more cards. The more emphatic yes with an exclamation point reads, bravo, the decision you've made is the right one. There's no need to continue to sort through additional options. You know what to do and you should move forward with your plans. You've made the correct choice for your personal growth and development. However, some decisions can be a true challenge. If the task ahead of you is daunting or even sad, then proceed with your plans in a way that is life-affirming and self-loving. Ask your angels to be with you every step of the way, and don't hesitate to call upon friends and family for support. So I like the way they give an answer, because someone might ask a question where they're afraid that the answer is yes. Yes is a scary answer. So I really like that reassuring energy there. So I wanted to, let's see. I'm going to take a look at another card. Okay, I pulled the There's Something Better card from the first pile. And let's see what that says. There's something better. Heaven has something wonderful in mind for you. However, it's not the same thing you have planned. Ask yourself, What would you rather have? The very thing you're asking for, or something that would make you much happier and more fulfilled? Sometimes God has joys in store for us that we could never imagine on our own. Open your mind and heart to the possibility that you deserve more, even more. I'm butchering this, sorry. Let me start over. Open your mind and heart to the possibility that you deserve even more than what you're asking for. Trust your angels to guide you in new and exciting directions. I really like that answer. It's so positive, and so often I can attest to something that I wanted might not turn out how I wanted it to, but it turned out for the best. Okay, so that is it. That is my review of the Angel Answers Oracle deck, a deck that I really love. Follow the links in the description box to buy this deck for yourself, or to browse other angel decks and reviews, as well as other decks and books by Radleigh Valentine, who is, a reminder, an angel expert if you're into angels. Now, you don't have to be into angels to use this deck. If you really just dislike angels, I would say steer clear, because it might get on your nerves. But even if you're not into angels, this deck is valuable because of the types of answers it provides. But anyway, if you like this review, go ahead, please do share it with friends. Please leave a comment, hit the like, subscribe, and notification buttons, and go ahead and check out my other videos, especially if you like angels. I've got a few angel videos. So thank you a lot. Thank you so much for watching Deck Obsessed today. Have a beautiful day, and see you next time.